Whether you're tuning in now or after the live, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure to hit that like button, as it will greatly help push us through the analytics and push us through the algorithm and allow more people to reach this beautiful community. We do have a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'm going to try to do this live tonight in about a half an hour. I'd like to do this right up until the daily close at 7. Obviously, we'll see how the back and forth goes. Maybe it'll end a little bit sooner. Maybe it'll end a little bit later. But we do have a bit of a beware scenario here right now with XRP. And we'll go over that very in depth. I've actually I added to the formation right now, and you can very clearly see a bear flag when I go into it. So please hit that like button. And I would love to hear from each and every one of you as you come in, and let me know what you think as we go on. So let me timestamp this very quickly. Good evening, 6:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, December 11th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. We'll be doing these inside from now on. Unfortunately, a little too cold out now in the great state of Michigan. So doing this inside now. I've done it outside as long as I can, but now we're in the heart of winter and it's a little cold. So XRP, as I was saying, free toast, welcome in. I'll say hi to everybody I see as you come in. XRP's down 6.41%. I think the market cap I had to re-put back on here. Yes, I did. And the market cap is down. Where did we finish off right now? Down 2.25 billion. Now, the beware scenario here, if you're just coming in, Meat is the future. Welcome in. Wolozy. Good evening. UK Phil, Free Toast, and CJ2 Pilot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, please hit that like button. But as you'll see, when we get into certain time periods, I always say we'll see, unfortunately, when the markets start going down, less and less people are interested. So I always say, try to get used to the ones that are here when we're in a bearish cycle, so that you'll know who to trust in a bullish cycle. Because if you understand the bear cycle, you'll understand when the reversal happens and how money flows. I had to just plug my phone in because it was, there we go. So please make sure to hit that share button. But as we go through this is our big dilemma here right now, everybody. Oh, I actually prefer it to be a little bit smaller, to be honest with you. On the live. So I know people will come, and probably by the time this ends, we'll end up having a fair amount of people once they start getting the word. But I like it when it's a little bit smaller. You can get the conversation going a little bit easier with, a smaller group. But either way, people will watch it during the live, they'll watch it after, whatever they choose. But XRP, here's our big problem. Here's the big problem here. So we're below the rising channel resistance, and we'd like to say, hey, XRP can come back up and retest at 65 cents. The problem is we put in what looks like a little bear flag here. That last drop down really switched the identity of this pattern on this recent move down. That little pull down here on this to validate this bear flag, the way it was coming down, you could have technically said until it broke this structure that maybe it was on a little bit of a bull flag disguised as a bear flag. But when it came down to this lower low, or actually the higher low right here, but it continued to make lower high right here if it gets rejected. This was the move from earlier. If you guys are familiar with the update that I did earlier, we did the midday marker report, and at the very end, I talked about this exact formation, and we talked about if you were going long from 603, you would have to watch right here at the 622 mark, and if we get rejected, it's going to come and fill this out. You have to be careful either way, because if you were going short, we had at least a retest here, even if it was going to break bearish. So you had to watch for that kind of move. And then if it breaks out of here, you could technically retest at 65. But I'm telling you right now, just because it doesn't come up, that's not the make it or break it here. For me, the reason why I could see it break down instead of even retesting on the upside, what happened here? This is a failed double top right now. So if it does, it's going to have to come back down here and validate the next support. The first one would have been 52.40. Now can we hit the pivot level on the top side at 55.15? This is a level that we never came back, and we've come down, but we've never retested the top side of this after the move up. I didn't want to come back down here in particular because when you come back down here, remember what we drew out over the weekend? This is the exact scenario we played out. What if it was going to make a big right arm? And then it looks like, remember we drew, I don't know if anybody was here when we did it on Sunday, but remember we said they came down, all of a sudden you look at this and now it's starting to look like that Batman top. Well, when we said it on Sunday, it was still up here. We just said the hypothetical. And then if it breaks down, you start to see that, and it's like, before you know it, you could be back up at that rising channel support. So I would say what everybody needs to watch for today, and if you came on to watch this live, what you should be paying attention to is in the 30-minute time frame right now. And does this break out, or does it continue to make out this structure? And the technical target's down at 55. Let's see. Let's get this direct. This is if it fills out properly, like boom, 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 boom. Comes down. You'd have a technical target. It's basically 55 cents. 55 cents. So even if you're accumulating and you want a futures trade and you break down here, you lose 9.75%. But if you understand how to futures trade, you could certainly take advantage of that if that's your choice. I don't like to talk about it, but I obviously give you the, if you're going to do this, be safe. And if you're going to do that, be safe. But this would be your scenario there. And then the ones who are going long, if they're looking for the opportune time, it'd be a breach above this resistance. Hold here at 622 approximately on the top side. And then you could ride that up for, and they're both tricky. But let's just say this bear flag breaks up. You'd have a 4.6% move. But honestly, with what we're seeing here, this is going to be tricky to break back up all the way to 65. It really is. This is going to be tricky because in the 1 hourly, we've already got the death cross. And right now, we're retesting the resistance on the death cross. To me, the fact we couldn't get above the 1 hourly on that initial 3 candle burst, and then we already had a chance before that, it's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be an issue here. Hold on, my nephew was trying to call me. I was going to tell him I'm doing my live. I can't talk. But it's an issue right now. The 1 hourly not being able to get over the 20-day. We know that that's the first confirmation that this pattern's still bearish. And the fact that the bear flag is formed right there, this could be an issue. So I'm going to start looking, for me personally, I'm going to start looking to see if we do break down and this bear flag plays out. Maybe this is one of those opportune times, if it does play out to the downside, that I'm not going to sell my stuff, but maybe I'll take I'll make a futures trade. But it has to be opportune because look in the 2 hourly. This looks like it's going to want to come up here and at least retest it. So maybe you get a quick breach of this, but it's hard to just say, oh, I'm going to go short, I'm going to go long, because look at the perspective here. It's telling you it should probably break down. So what does that mean the market might do? It means they might just bring it to 65 and liquidate the shorts now. They have liquidated some of the shorts, don't get me wrong, from this morning. So if you went short, let's say you went here and you said, oh, it's going to keep breaking down. Even on a 10x trade, you're down 30% right now. You can't withstand this move. You'd get liquidated. Even though it's only 80%, they liquidate you at like 70 and some change on most exchanges. About 76%, which is horse, you know what. Some are like 68%, so you got to read the fine print. Another reason why I don't particularly like futures trading. So, but that JW, welcome in. I really, really, really appreciate you. Really appreciate you being in here tonight. I know it's not the most exciting of nights with everything going on, but it's still, there's a lot of movement in the market. So that's really what I'm seeing. That's really what I'm seeing. 48 people watching now, 29 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button. That is so important to push us through the algorithm and the analytics. And if you don't want to hit the like button, I mean, you could always send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. Nobody's done that this week yet. So, but you really just have to hit that like button. It'll help push us through the analytics. It really will. Rob, welcome in. Shining with that 2-year badge, just like CJ2 Pilot, Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. That's month 2. Appreciate both of you. Hey, Tom, signed up to YouTube just to like you. Or to like, oh, I got to read the rest of that. I appreciate that. Signing up to YouTube, just hit the like button. That is, that's impressive. It's impressive. Just to like your videos. I appreciate that. I'm flattered. Mario, welcome in. Trading with J-Ride with the 1 year, what is that? The 2-year badge and some. That's the 2-year badge, though. Thank you so much for that, J-Ride. Trading with J Rod, and that's my 589. That's not $589 like the YouTubers promised at the end of 23. That's my promise of 0.589. I said more like 0.589 at the end of 23. I mean, you really couldn't come much closer than what my 2-year badge says, can you? I think it's so perfect. We were mooning, but unfortunately it was at 0.589, so 58.9 cents. That's why I did that. But I told everybody I couldn't release it until 2 years and it would fit perfectly, and it did. Because they wouldn't let me do one from 1 to 2 years. And then the one before that was the I told you so badge. I told you so 0.589. Truth, welcome in. Good evening. I like to do a piece of the puzzle. So, I think it's a fun time. But this, what do you guys think? Does it break up? Or does this break down? 2 hourly showing a little bit of a bullish candle. It's going to have to break up because that's a reversal candle there. Now we're getting an overly bullish one to start. 3 hour, we have a bearish cross, but the 2 hour, we're about to have a death cross. So, if you want to invalidate this structure, we all know the 2 hour is when you start to make them more permanent of a reversal. So, if you don't want this to be a reversal, we're going to have to come back up here in the due time to re-break this level. Wolozy, you say, I hope XRP goes up. We all hope it goes up, but we also have to be realistic and see exactly what we're going to be facing here if it doesn't. They liquidated enough in one day. You think it'll go up, free toast? It's possible. That's why I'm hoping that it takes the up route. I talked about it. I did put it in the title. A breakdown would be 55 cents, but a breakout or break up would be at 68. And how I got that, and I'll show everybody. I cloned this. And then I had a breakout happening right here. So that would be where it actually started breaking out. Because that's where it would have to. So then you would have a breakout target. And these are the technical moves. Remember, if it doesn't go on a bear flag, you're going to have that same reaction. It'll just be the opposite. And that would confirm starting to get back up towards a break. Now, if it does that, now you're looking good. Now that'd be a beautiful V-shaped recovery. This is what you want. If it does this, then you want this. Retest this now. Give it the right arm. Because now you could start saying some inversion started. And then you might be able to get out of here. If it does this, I'd feel really good. This would be best case scenario if we broke down for liquidity and then did this. Oh boy. This would be maximum amount of potential here. You want to do that. That's what you want to do. Because you want to get rid of the longs before you go up. The problem is do we have the capability to do this right now? We're hoping so. But I'm not delusional, so I'm going to show you both sides. And I'm going to stress the importance of the negativity side in the beginning, only because of the death cross in the 1 hour, the looming death cross when this 2 hour candle closes. So it's on this next 2 hour candle. It's on the next daily candle here in the time frame to make a push the next 24 hours. That's why I keep saying, what do you think? Look at the volume differential. On the breakdown, we had some little bit stronger volume. This push up in this 2 hourly has been weak, but that's what you want. You're not going to have a big push. You want to make sure that sell volume's exhausted and now the buy volume is starting to take over. But we're squeezed right now. You can't even make the attempt to try to take the up route and get out of there. But I'm telling you, if you take the up route, this would be ultra bullish at the end of the year. At least until the 15th. We needed a liquidity style event, though. If we were going to have a push before the 15th, you need to draw liquidity. Now, if we go to 55 cents, which is the downward projection here, if you break down onto this bear flag, it's an issue. It's absolutely an issue. And you can see it in the 30-minute. It's a beautiful setup in the 30 because you can see how quickly it developed. You know, we don't have to guess. It's just there. That's there. I'm not making it up. You're not making it up. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. You know, they're not deceiving you. This is what happens. And now it formed the structure. We can't change the structure it formed, but what we can do is plan around it. So if you're an accumulator, if it breaks up, you're not going to get a chance to further accumulate depending on where your targets are. Like for me, I can't even continue accumulating until it's 20% below 346. So I don't give a shit which way it goes, honestly. I've already packed my bags as much as I need to. If it goes down even farther, well, I'll continue to do it. I have a very simple philosophy. But if it takes the upward route, it's just nice to, as you know, for anybody who accumulates, we sold in 21, bought back in 23, and we've been, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, ZIL, VChain, DGB, Flare, Solo, Algo, Doge, what else? Corium, Gala. So like 14 assets is what we hold now. Every single one, even with these big drops, is plus 70% for the most part. Except ones we might have bought a little bit later in the that we had to wait for the circulation to go, and now it's starting to rise again. But so there's philosophy here. So now is not the emotional time. Like for me, they've done nothing for me yet. And to sell now would just be to pay a 35% fee just to buy it back and do the same thing, rinse, repeat, and then you have compounding. It's just becomes too much. So you look at it this way. You hope it hits 55 cents. I'll add 1 to 3K more. If it goes down to 55 cents, now is the interesting part, because if you're adding more, I would definitely make sure it holds 55, because if you break that pivot point at 55, then you got 52 and a half. The all-time chart would suggest we'd go back to 40 cents, but there's a few things in between there. Because you still have to break this rising channel support. And you'd have to break below this very key market. You have to break. I hate how it's separated. Hold on. I love TradingView. Where the heck did my XRP go? It deleted that one again. Second time already on the stream. Wow. No wonder I can't see it. It deleted it again. That's twice already. That's why I always say, if you're looking to buy TradingView, don't do it. Just do the free version, because you'll rip your own hair out if you have to pay the money, and it's doing stupid stuff. But on the rising channel support, we seen the all-time chart, but the rising channel, that's what you'd have to get through first. So there's multiple levels here. Then you've got the old bear flag disguised as the bull flag that technically, if it comes down, you can meet it at around 52 cents, maybe the overextended at 515. But there's not much. If you break down here, I mean, that's for anybody who wants this to go up, it needs to go up now. I know I don't need to tell everybody the ramifications of a failed cup and handle. Let's just say this failed. I don't need to tell you the ramification. You're coming down here. It probably, I don't know if it would be able to hold here unless it was making I don't know, though. Because now you're talking about a big, bad, I mean, we don't know what would happen in that scenario. But the one thing I can say, don't get overly excited, because the weekly, the golden cross is very much still in play. It very well could be coming down to retest it. However, we do have 2 consecutive reversal candles here in the weekly. But that golden cross, it's still playing off of, and we have not had the parabolic spike yet. We have not had the parabolic spike yet. So that is something to pay attention to. What the heck is going on? It did it again, guys. It deleted the chart again while I was using it, and then it kicked me off to the Dow. You can't make this stuff up. Tanya, welcome in, love. I'll go over HBAR in just a second, too, because I want to share that right now, since TradingView's being awesome tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I promise we're almost winding this up now. We're getting close. HBAR down 4.75% to 0.71, so we're still over the 7 cents. It made the exact move. HBAR is doing it in the exact formation we want. So even though we had to fall down, got wrecked about 80% last night. Gonna watch this chart like a hawk. Got some pizza on the way. Let's go. Hey, that's a good idea. Gonna have to watch it like a hawk too, because we've got some very, 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 very interesting things, as we've seen so far on the show, of what can happen here. So if you're asking me for levels about XRP, I literally just went over the levels. Unless you're just tuning in, I just went over the levels, like, for 20 minutes. Showed every possibility known to man. For HBAR, so you can buy the dip. No, I can't buy the dip. I can't buy the dip. It's not even close to where I can buy it. I'm so far below this, I can't. But H bar right now, we bounced out first level correction, second way up. Now we're trying to retest. And as long as this holds, this is the rising channel support. Now we came well up within here. We might be able to still hold this 6.8 and bounce all the way up to that 8.4. Like, is crypto done? We don't know. It would be funny if it just ended like this before the 15th and they just dumped it now. It seems like they left a lot on the table for themselves, especially if they wanted a real liquidity flush. The dip was 1 year ago. No, that wasn't a dip 1 year ago. That was the largest liquidity flush in the history of crypto from 21 on. That's what the prediction was. It wasn't just a dip. That was the bottom of, legitimately, the Titanic sank. You went from a asset that was worth, especially with XRP, for 10,000 tokens worth 20 grand, to even now, with all the recovery it's had, it's only worth 6,200. That's a 66% devaluation in not even 2 years. That's about 2 years. That's a disaster. That's not a dip. That's the ship has sunk. The only thing that we didn't do was break that 28 cents, and we're not that low anymore. Because at 28 cents, now you're start talking about how much we're down. But you had to abort the ship. Once you got to $1.66, we hit the iceberg at $1.66. We thought we were fine at $1.98. Hit it, we bounced off, started floating, and we're like, hey, we're fine. We came back up, moving up. Then we realized that the bottom floor was already halfway underwater. So we had to sell at $1.66. We got on our life rafts and got the hell out of there. And some people didn't. Their portfolios went down with the old Titanic. Now, for the ones who survived, the ones who bought it back in 23, they walked out and they're like, hey, I got 15 grand, 16 grand, just depending on your 10,000 valuation is what I'm saying. So now you sold it at 16,600 and you got to buy it back for what? 3,400, 2,800, 3,900, 51. I mean, even now, 6,100. So to survive it was the easy part. To understand when you can ride it again and then have to bail again is the hard part. This is the exact same thing we did in 21. If anybody was part of the show, history repeats itself every few years. It's just who's going to be around to enjoy the next part of history. Right now, we're doing the exact same thing we did in 21. It goes up 35%, everybody's happy. It goes down 12%, everybody's jumping off a cliff. Then you get everybody buying at 70 cents that wouldn't buy at 30 cents. You get more people buying at 65 that refused to just buy it a few short months ago at 45. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It gets to 90 cents, everybody starts jumping on. It goes to 45, and everybody's like, I don't want to buy this shit. At 75, oh my God, I got to buy this shit. At $2, like, my God, I'm going to sell my house to buy this junk. But it's not junk, only at $2. It's a treasure right now. This is the exact scenario we were trying to play out in 21 and saying, if you sell it right now after buying it, we literally held XRP for 2 months. That's how fortunate we were when we did it together. I mean, at 2 months, it turned things up, and now I see a whole market that has no idea what the hell is going on. I see influencers that really don't even know how to chart. Let's just call it for what it is. I see a bunch of people that, come in and they're so depressed or so devastated on a 9% drop. Like, here's the funny part. Let's be realistic. Let's go back to Let's go back to right before Halloween, folks. This is what I'm talking about with people who don't when you get the false bullshit on media, social media, and excuse my French. Let's call Halloween. Since Halloween, we are up, and forget that we were up, and now we're consolidating. Since Halloween, we're still up 25%. Even if we dip down to 55 cents, we're still up 12% since Halloween. Now, when I say sometimes the only way to keep you from having a bigger fall than you've already had is to have a BS run up for no reason, just to drop it down and gain liquidity. All you're doing, instead of shuffling out or flushing out the ones who are buying lower, what you're trying to do instead to gain the liquidity is you have artificial run-ups. They'll sell right away. Artificial run-ups, they sell right away. Then what happens? They miss the real run-up. Futures traders liquidated if they're going short, going long, going short, going long. I mean, it's a game. But what do you still see here? Bull flag could be filled in the making. You just have to look at it in the proper perspective. That's a very wide pattern. Not just that. Not just that. If you look at it from back here, this is from July. Is that not a cup and handle that's forming? And it looks pretty darn good if you're looking at it in the proper perspective. You just can't look at it in the short term. Boom. Oh, shoot. Cup and handle forming. Trying to put first layer bullish handle on the cup. Swing out. Even if it does this and goes boom, boom, swings around, that's a big W. That's a big W. You just got to watch the charts play out. I've seen this a gazillion times where it'll liquidate every single angle just for this exact pattern to just play out like it was supposed to. Who's been here before? How many people have been here before? And then some people say, what is the proper, this is your perspective here. That's your perspective. What can happen? If the bear flag plays down, you go to 55 cents. If we can gain steam and the bear flag plays up, well, that's what you want to happen. 65 cents would be a logical place to reject as well. So what are we going to do? Everybody always says, well, Tom, what are we going to do? You tell me. What are we going to do? Which way looks like it should play out? Traditionally, a bear flag plays down to 55 cents here. Market manipulation tells me don't expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Hell, you could even end up with some kind of weird consolidation like this, and then it could start pushing out like a typical. I mean, that's what can happen. That's why, yes, indeed, Tanya. When in doubt, zoom out. That's exactly why I went out to the July start of the formation. Nope. Nope, you just watch it play out. Have fun. Have fun. You watch this play out. And if you want to be honest, the first tier of this cup and handle, you don't even need to be stressed out yet. The first tier of this was right here. So, I mean, you're right at the rotational pole. Even if it comes down low, I mean, it's a brutal thing. But that's all the things that can be happening right now. So it's like, is it going up and down? My guess and your guess are as good as any. All we need to do is make sure we have the proper formations, the proper fundamentals we understand. And then let's just say we get a doji candle here in the 30. Right now it looks like a more of an inverted hammer, but let's say it pulls down here. It's not going to in this 30. But if you see any candle where it pulls down and it starts to give you like an X or like a cross here, we've seen a reversal here after the pull down. Pushed up, failed. Can't always look at them like that. Now we're going to see again. Can we break out? So I think that's everything I wanted to cover. It really is. I think that's everything I wanted to do. The only other thing is Bitcoin. I'm going to do that very quickly. And then I'm going to go. I'm going to do this again tomorrow. Bitcoin is in the exact same setup with XRP, except it came down a little bit farther. This Bitcoin, it looks like it started like into a little falling or descending channel here in the 30 minute. So are we breaking up? Are we breaking down? Nobody knows. Bitcoin would have to break out of the structure, get over 42,663. Otherwise, you could be looking at Bitcoin sub 40,000. And in particular, coming down to what we've talked about, if we broke down, we'd be having a date with 39,000 there. And then maybe we can still bounce up. The technical target off of 39,000, remember. If it can just hold that structure, which we never retested, that was the problem. And you would have to hold 42,663 to avoid the drop that we talked about. And unfortunately, we didn't. Now, can we pick it up here and maybe reverse? Maybe. I'm not seeing a bunch of volume that's going to tug us to the proper direction here. But hey, we could break out. We could still bounce out. But more than likely, if you're going to bounce out of here, you're probably going to come down to 39,220. If we swing out of here, though, this would be a great sign of strength. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. We got to the daily close. XRP closed well under 62 cents. And not exactly the strongest of starts to the next candle, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what they've got in store. Could be a small bull flag that could even bring us to the 200-day, even if we're bearish at 62.70. So thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to hit that like button, as it will greatly help push us through the analytics before you leave. Make sure, if you enjoy my work, hit that subscribe button and join the over 19,400 subscribers now. Oh, and the algo, yeah, algo did beautifully. It bounced out of that formation, got rejected right at the 21 cent mark, basically. And now it's consolidating in between, so we'll see. Algo's got some room still. They all have room. If these are logical consolidations and they hold, these are beautiful consolidations for further moves up. It's just if they do break out or break down, it could be a problem. Some of them that can still run though, or one of them's algo that could run outside of this though. There's an outside shot because of the volume portfolio right now. If you're looking to trade crypto, video description below, you can always trade the same way I do, futures or spot. USA or abroad, it's in the video description. I just don't talk about the exchanges. You can do it because you're the one trading, and if you want to trade, I don't want to influence you. Just I like to put the ones that have the lowest spot fees, yada yada yada. So that's it. Feel good about this one. Thank you all so much. Have a blessed evening, and I'll catch you back